ॐ मायाकल्पितमातृकामुखमृषा द्वैतप्रपञ्चाश्रयः सत्यज्ञानसुखात्मकश्रुतिशिखोत्थाखण्डधीगोचरः मिथ्याबन्धविधूननेन परमा नन्दैकतानात्मकम् मोक्षं प्राप्त इव स्वयं विजयते विष्णुर्विकल्पोज्झितः शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Page number 463, second last line in Swami Yogindranji's book, in Swami Vishuddhanji's book, page number 328, second line from top. The question was raised when you say Drishti Srishti-vada. What is the meaning of the word Drishti? Drishti means Jnanam. What kind of Jnanam is it? Is it Kutastha Jnanam, Chaitanya Matra? Is it Vritti Vishishta Chaitanya? Or is it only Vritti? It cannot be only Kutastha Jnanam, Chaitanya, because it is eternal. Then the Srishti also will become eternal. Then the whole purpose of negating the creation will be defeated. Only Vritti is not Chaitanya Swarupa. So we will take Vritti Vishishta Chaitanya. And in that, Vritti, see the sentence now, Vrittavapi, Vrittireva Swaswarupa Chaitanyopadihi iti nanavastha. There is no anavastha dosha. How anavastha dosha will come? Try to understand. If we have one vritti, that vritti upahita chaitanya is the drishti. This is the meaning of the word drishti. This drishti will create srishti. So vritti upahita chaitanya is drishti, it's srishti. In this vritti upahita chaitanya, vritti is part of drishti. This vritti will produce another srishti. In that srishti, also this vritti should exist. Or this vritti is part of some other srishti. There is another srishti, another drishti which has created this srishti. This drishti srishti, so this drishti will create another srishti. This will create another. This is the anavastha. So this knowledge requires a previous knowledge. Whose creation is this vritti? That previous knowledge requires another previous knowledge. Whose creation is this knowledge? Because each is a vritti. Vritti is part of creation. So there will be anavastha. This is what Purvapakshi suggests. Siddhanti says this vritti is included in both. In drishti srishti, it is part of drishti also, in srishti also. And it is swapara nirvahaka. So whenever we have this anavastha dosha, we use the term swapara nirvahaka. it will sustain itself. It will do the creation also. It will work both ways. Like superimposition, adhyasa. Adhyasa requires adhyasa because Atma and Avidya, their adhyasa is required. That Atma, Avidya, adhyasa will produce adhyasa. We say adhyasa is swapara nirvahaka. So therefore you don't need another adhyasa, another adhyasa, another adhyasa. And there is no anavastha dosha, infinite regress. In the same way here also, vritti is part of jnanam as vritti upahita chaitanya, and vritti is part of creation also. But when it comes to jnanam, chaitanya is mukhya, vritti is gauna. When it comes to srishti, vritti is there, chaitanya is not created. So it will work both ways. Here it is not elaborated, but we have to understand. अतएव दोषा ज्ञाना दृष्ट देहेन्द्रियादीनाम अभावे न भ्रम इति तेषामपि दृष्टि सृष्टित्वे अनवस्थेति निरस्तम्. Somebody says, for Brahma to take place, dosha, defect has to be there. Defect in sense organs, defect in the knowledge. Then ignorance has to be there of the object. Then only some projection will come. Third, adrishta, your prarabdha has to be there. Without that prarabdha, you will not project something. And you need deha, indriya, etc. If all of them are absent, how can there be Brahma? Dosha, ajnana, adrishta, deha, indriyadinam abhave, na Brahma iti teshamapi drishti srishtitve anavastha. So then you need all this in order to have drishti srishti. So first they have to exist, then they will project these things. They will create a creation. In that creation, there will be again dosha, ajnana, adrishta, deha, indriya, etc. Then another, or the previous one requires a previous knowledge, which requires a previous knowledge. In this way, there is anavastha. Siddhanta is nirastam. It is, all are refuted on the same basis. How? In dream, you don't need a different body first to project another body. You don't need a different sense organ to project another sense organ. That Brahma takes place without all these things separately existing. It is part of projection only. What you experience is also projection. What projects, other than the consciousness aspect, is all projected only. Swapna brahmavat dehendriyadi nairapekshena api upapatte. Like in dream projection, you don't need any real of these. So without expecting any of it, nairapekshena api upapatte. Otherwise, what will happen? One dosha is there, that dosha will project srishti. That dosha sahita jnanam will project srishti. But the question is, where did that first dosha come from? a previous projection. Previous projection, how did their dosha come from? Previous projection. Like that, there will be anavastha. This is in drishti srishti-vada, just like in swapna. You don't need deha, indriya, this, that, everything. So in drishti srishti also, without any of these, Bhranti is possible. In the previous session, we saw one point, Rajju or Shukti and Rajata. Shukti Adhishthanam. It has to exist prior to the Rajata projection, said Purvapakshi. For Badhya Bhadaka Bhava to exist, Purvapakshi said, you need Adhika Sattakatvam. What did Siddhanti say?
Anyuna satta is sufficient.
Anyuna Sattakam is enough. You don't need Adhika Sattakatvam. Okay. Now here Anvaya Vyatireka. Purvapaksha says Anvaya Vyatireka, that Karya Karana Bhava Siddhi happens through Anvaya Vyatireka. So Dehadi Sattve Brahma Sattvam, Dehadi Nama Bhave Brahma Bhava. In this way, if someone wants to do, Anvaya Vyatireka is not necessary there. Because in Swapna, Dehadi Nama Bhave Abhi Api Brahmo Sambhavati. Brahma Sambhavati. Brahma is possible. But another question can come, which is not given here, but it will come probably. What is that? Karya and Karana. Karya has to exist later in time compared to Karana. But in Drishti Srishti Vada, everything appears at the same time. So where is Karya Karana Bhava? Where is Karya Niyata Purva Vritti Karanatvam? Karana, the cause existing prior to the effect. There is no such thing. Purvapakshi is saying, how will you say there is cause and effect relationship in Drishti Srishti Vada? So Siddhanti says, it is simultaneous projection. And you have created this association between these two, there is cause and effect. Really speaking, the cause and effect cannot be established in dream. Everything is together. You don't say that a clay pot is there, but did you have clay before? A clay pot, everything is together. In the same way, in Drishti Srishti Vada, everything is simultaneous. Nacha Drishti Srishter api Drishti Srishtittvena Ghatader Adrishti Srishtitva Pattihi iti Vachyam. Now someone says, okay, Drishti Srishti is there, so Srishti is created. That Drishti Srishti, is it Drishti Srishti or not? Means whatever projection is there, that projection is also within Drishti Srishti. So one Drishti Srishti is there, in that a Prapancha is there. As part of that Prapancha, Drishti Srishti is also included. This question I had asked earlier in a different way. That the three avasthas, Jagrad, Swapna, Shushupti, are they within Prapancha? Or Prapancha is within Jagrad, Swapna, Shushupti? So here also, because you cannot say when one avastha is there, one whole set of prapancha is there. Next avastha comes, next prapancha comes. Third avastha, third prapancha. Whole different creation comes with each state. What was there in the Jagrat, that whole creation is not available now. Swapna has different. When Swapna is gone, even that creation is not available. Sushupti is totally different. But that whole thing is also a prapancha. That avasthas coming and going, this is all prapancha only. So here, drishti srishti, if it projects something, that projection is mithya. In that mithya projection, drishti srishti is also included. So drishti srishti is not satyam. Drishti srishti projected prapancha is mithya. Drishti srishti is also mithya. So now the sentence says, drishti srishterapi drishti srishtitva. Drishti srishti is also drishti srishti. And therefore, ghata, which is part of that drishti srishti, will become adrishti srishti. Iti nacha vachya. This let's say in dream, you see a lion who is chasing you, and a dream hunter shoots that lion. So lion, that Vyagra or Simha, is mithya. The hunter is also mithya. His arrow is also mithya. Mithya hunter's mithya arrow will not make lion satyam. It is just end of that projection of lion. In the same way, drishti srishti, being part of drishti srishti, doesn't make the objects within that drishti srishti satyam. How? He gives example here. Jnanasya jneyatve api vishayasya agnyatva abhavavat drishti srishter drishti srishtitve api ghatader drishti srishtitva upavatte. Jnanam here means anuvyavasaya jnanam. It's for nyaya. First, when they say there is jnanam, the jnaya vastu is ghata and there is knowledge. Object of knowledge is ghata. When there is anuvyavasaya jnanam, in that anuvyavasaya jnanam, the jnaya is previous jnanam and its jnaya also. So first jnanam, let us say, is jnanam of ghata. Jnanam of ghata. This is first jnana. Anuvyavasaya jnanam, this jnanam's vishaya is only ghata. Anuvyavasaya jnanam's vishaya is ghata and ghata jnana, both. So jnanasya means this anuvyavasaya jnanasya jneyatve api. This anuvyavasaya jnanam has jnanasya jneyatvam. This jnanam will become jneya for anuvyavasaya jnanam. Jneyatve api. Vishaya is not agneya. Vishayasya agneyatva abhava. Vishaya is also jneya. Jnanam is also jneya. Jneya is also jneya for anuvyavasaya jnanam. Means it will still remain jneya only. That for jnanam it was jneya. When this jnanam becomes jneya for anuvyavasaya, then what will happen to this? It will not exit from Gnya and it will become Jnata. It will still remain Gnya. Like that, Ghata, if it is part of Drishti Srishti, if this Drishti Srishti is part of Drishti Srishti, the Ghata doesn't exit from the Drishti Srishti. It will remain in Drishti Srishti only, which we had seen earlier as, if you say the Jagat is Mithya, and what about Mithyatva? Mithyatva is also Mithya. If Mithyatva is Mithya, then Jagat will become Satyam. So it is said no. Why? Because Drishyatva Hetu is there for both. Jagat also has Drishyatva, Mithyatva also has Drishyatva. Wherever Drishyatva is there, it is Mithya. So Ghatadi are still part of Drishti Srishti alone. See, what is the objective? Objective is to show that all this is projection. For a person, for a sadhaka who is capable of justifying the creation with minimum variables. I don't need too many things to understand why things are like this. Just as we don't need too many things to understand why my dream is like this. We don't ask too many questions. But we understand this is illusion. It was a projection. I am the reality. The one who can convince himself or herself that this whole thing is a projection and the reality is the only thing which is outside of this projection, which is real me. If I can appreciate this knowledge, I can abide in this knowledge, there is no sorrow for me. Because that sorrow, the cause of sorrow, the one who is going through sorrow are all projections. Means you have to understand to the extent that what was there before creation is real me. So nothing of creation can be part of me. Nothing of creation. I should be able to let go of everything of creation. Then what remains is me. If I can convince myself this every day, this is all that I am. And that me, nothing can shake it, nothing can, Nainam Chindanti Shastrani, no weapons can cut it, Nainam Dahati Pavaka, no fire can burn it, no Kledayanti Apaha, it cannot be wet by any kind of water, na Shoshayati Marutaha, the wind cannot dry it, nothing can happen to me. And I am Asanga. So even when there is projection, what can happen to me? There is no contact between me and the world. I am contactless. This is called Asparsha Yoga. So this is what the teaching is about. All this is to convince ourselves. Now there is a question. Nanu Aikya Pratyabhijñā Virodha Purvakala Pratitasya Idanim Abhavat. What about Aikya Pratyabhijñā? Pratyabhijñā requires that something was there before, the same thing is existing now, and therefore there is oneness. But in your Drishti Srishtivada, there is no Purvakala Pratiti. Purvakala Pratitasya Idanim Abhavat. The same thing is not there. Like we saw in case of Idam Rajatam. And if you say it is Bhranti, Nachayasha Bhranti, in the case of a lamp, Deepadau Parinama Bhedasya Iva Iha Badhakasya Abhavat. In case of a flame of a lamp, This is the example given by the Kshanik Vijnanavad, Buddhist philosophy. They say there is a similarity, but it is not the same. Like how the flame of a lamp keeps burning, it is Seyam Deepakalika, Seyam Deepakalika. This is same, this is same. It is not the same, it is changing. What was there earlier is already burnt out. Next part is there, is also burnt. Next part burnt. And how do you know? Because that oil or ghee, whatever is there, is reducing. The size of the wick is becoming smaller. And if you put extra wick, it will grow. Extra oil, it will grow. So parinama bheda is there. Because of that, badhaka is there. You can negate that this is not the same. Badhaka is there. But in this case, badhakasya abhavat, Purvaksha says, Ipadau parinama bhedasya iva. Iha means in Darshtanta, Drishti Srishtivada, there is no badhaka. There is madhaka. So you can say it is not Pratyabhijñā. It is Sadrishya. But here you feel it is same. Tad abhave api bhrantitve. And if you say even if there is no badhaka, it is still bhranti. What is bhranti? Pratyabhijñā is bhranti. That the same object I am experiencing, this thought, if it is an illusion, घटादेरपि एकस्मिन् क्षणे भेदस्य आत्मनोपि प्रतिक्षणं भेदस्य च प्रसंग इति चेत् घटादेहे अपि एकस्मिन् क्षणे at one point there could be many pots. Purvapakshi is suggesting ekasmin kshane घटादेहे भेदस्य and atmano api pratikshanam bhedasya, and atma every moment is different. When ghatadis are yet same moment, there are many ghata. Atma, every moment there is one atma. Why he says ghatadehe ekasmin kshane bheda? Because there could be 10 people in Srishti Drishtivada, all 10 people see the same pot. And someone says, did you see that pot? Yes, it is there. I saw it. But really speaking, according to Drishti Srishtivada, if 10 people are seeing a pot, how many pots are there?
10 pots.
1 pot.
In Drishti Srishtivada, 10 pots. In Drishti Srishtivada, it's not one pot. There are 10 pots. In Srishti Drishtivada, there is one pot. Because each has their own projection. There is no each. Only one person is projecting. And he sees 10 people. And he sees 10 of them saw the one pot. Actually, 10 of them, they are seeing 10 different things. So that's why ekasmin kshane ghatadehe bheda. And atma, even if you say one atma, every moment it is different. Why? Because let's say at 6:10, I feel aham. 6:11, when I say aham, that aham is referring to different atma. इति चेत् न सिद्धांत से नेहनाना इत्यादि श्रुतिभिः प्रपंचस्य मिथ्यात्वे नेहनानास्ति किंचन by this श्रुति प्रपंचस्य मिथ्यात्वे अवधृते अवधारिते. When prapancha is mithya, this is established. रज्जु सर्पादिवत् प्रतिभासमात्र-śarīratvam eva pratibhāsa-kālatirikta-kāla-sattva-bādhakam. He said we have bādhaka for Pratyabhijñā. What is the bādhaka? Based on this shruti, everything other than Atma is mithya, is projection. Prapanchasya mithyatve avadrate. It is just like Rajju Sarpa. Pratibhāsamātra-śarīratvam. Jagat, Vyavaharik Jagat is Pratibhāsamātra-śarīram. Shariram here means Swarupam. Its Swarupam is only projection. Only projection. Only when the projection is there, you see it. And Pratibhāsa Kala, Atirikta Kala Sattve. Other than when there is projection at any other time, it is non-existing. This proves there is no possibility of Pratyabhijñā in Siddhi-71, and it is perfectly okay, says Siddhanti. Because when it is not part of projection, it is not existing. Pratibhāsa Kala, Atirikta Kala, Sattve Bādhakam. Bādhakam kim? Pratibhāsamātra-śarīratva. It will exist only when there is projection. See, if you think little bigger picture, let's complete this. Ato, bhinna kalanam atma bhinnanam pratyabhijñā bhranti. Other than Atma, anything else existing at different times, same object existing at different times is an illusion. And about that, if there is Pratyabhijñā, that is also illusion. Atmani, and what about Atma? Atmani eka pratite hai, eka kalavachchedena ghatadavcha aikya pratyabhijñā na bhranti. Atma is same. So at one time, ekakala avachchedena and ghatadaucha aikya pratyabhijñā. Ghata is same. Therefore, there is no bhranti. Ghata is same means at one time, it is one. But he will give the example of projection. In Drishti-71, okay, first in Srishti-drishti. In Srishti-drishti-vada, if there is an object which is existing, but I have not experienced, how will I know if that object is existing or not?
Hiranyagarbha will know.
In Ekajivavada, you are Hiranyagarbha. In Srishti-drishtivada, yes, somebody else will know. I am Chaitra, Maitra will know, I will assume, or some Devadatta, Yajnadatta, or Hiranyagarbha. Somebody will know. Therefore, the object is existing. But Drishti-Srishtivada says, object is existing, how will you know? And the other people are existing, how do you know? Other consciousness is existing, you cannot prove. Other jivas are existing, you cannot prove. So you have to go by this understanding that only when I am experiencing, things are there. Somebody will ask, oh, but what about this space is always there, you know? I go to sleep, when I wake up, space is still there. Himalaya is still there. I go to sleep, I wake up, it is still there. I did not project during my deep sleep, but it was there. How do you know it was there? So, if we ask this kind of question and try to find the answer, then we realize maybe there is no other existence of these objects apart from when there is Pratibhāsamātra-śarīratva. Eka kalavachchinna ghatadav atmani cha abhede bādhakam bhava. Eka kala avachchinna ghata, in ghata and in atma, in abheda there is no bādhaka bhava. So At one time, it is one part, one Atma. One part means one part for one projection. पुरुषांतर प्रतीतेन सह एक कालावच्छेदेनापि घटादौ प्रत्यभिज्ञानं भ्रम एव. Why? प्रतिभासस्य भेदात्. पुरुषांतर प्रतीतेन. If Chaitra thinks Maitra is also seeing the same pot at the same time. Sah ek kala avachedena-api ghatadau. So he said, did you see that pot? I also saw the same. That I also saw the same pot. That Pratyabhijñānam is Bhranti. Why? Pratibhāsa is different. Every projection is different. How? He said, yatha ekasyam eva rajvam मंदांधकार वर्तिन्याम दशानाम युगपत सर्प भ्रमेण पलायमानानाम परस्पर संवादेन एक एव सर्प सर्वैर अनुभूयते इति प्रत्यभिज्ञा भ्रमः. मंद अंधकार is there, one rajju is there. 10 people saw that. 10 of them they saw sarpa. They all ran. Then they started talking to each other. Did you see snake? Yes, I saw. You also saw the same snake? I also saw the same snake. I also saw the same snake. This Pratyabhijñā is a Bhranti. Because each is projecting different things. Anya Brahma Siddhasya Anyena Jnatum Ashakyatvat. Anyasya Brahma Tena Siddha. That cannot be known by somebody else. This is total projection. So, in the same way, if more than one person sees Drishti Srishti, that other person and his projection is all, there cannot be Pratyabhijñā, that this is the same. So the class is there, every time you see the same teaching, same teacher, we continue further. This is a projection. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.